today.
Now to a story for anyone who's ever wondered whether miracles can happen. It all began with a nun from Pennsylvania and a little girl whose life she profoundly changed. NBC's Bob Dotson has the story, a milestone for the Catholic Church in the United States.
Some people believe this little girl may be the closest we get to the face of God.
The Lord be with you.
God doesn't touch many lives like hers.
Let us give thanks to the Lord our God.
7 years ago, Amy Wall was born deaf in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. The nerves in her ears incurably damaged.
You can't rebuild that inner ear. It's like trying to put a new brain into someone.
So Amy's brother and sister asked their mom if they could pray for a miracle.
And you were skeptical?
Oh, wouldn't you be? I didn't want them to be disappointed, because this doesn't happen to people like us.
This is my body, which will be given up for you.
Rather than question God directly, Connie Wall suggested her kids pray to a former neighborhood nun who had spent her life taking care of children.
Her name is Katie. I named a Barbie doll after her.
Because shortly after praying to Sister Katharine Drexel in 1994,
either someone coughed or sneezed, and Amy turned her head.
How's your hearing?
not just good, suddenly, nearing age 2, it was completely normal. Amy began talking as if she'd never been deaf.
The language came clear and straight through. When it started, it was just like turning the faucet on. There it was. Amazing. Amazing.
A miracle? Maybe. Thousands of people tell the Catholic Church they've seen one every year. But only about 15 of those sightings are considered miraculous enough to be stored here in the Vatican archives for further study.
Priests have been reviewing some of those cases for more than 400 years. And some have yet to be named official miracles. But Pope John Paul took less than a decade to decide that what happened to Amy was a miracle.
Two experts totally independent of the case, and in this case they happen to both be Jewish, examined the medical records and the initial testimony of her mother and determined that they could find no scientific explanation.
Neither could 5 other top doctors, 2 Hindu, 1 Muslim, who tested Amy and reviewed more than 900 pages of medical testimony.
When you see such a complex and rigorous examination, the fact that that miracle goes through is a miracle in itself.
Amy's miracle was not the first linked to the neighborhood nun from Bensalem.
You want to try getting on?
Robert Gutherman did not have the bones in his ears he needed to hear until his parents prayed to Sister Katharine.
Katharine Drexel, whom I have beatified today.
The Pope ruled that an official miracle in 1988.
Why did you pick Sister Katharine to pray to?
We believe that she was in favor with God and that she'd be able to help out.
Katharine Drexel's life did read like a Bible story. She was born here in Philadelphia shortly before the Civil War, raised in mansions, but took a vow of poverty. She used to sew shoelaces back together rather than buy new ones.
Wore pencils down to the nub. Gave away all of her $20 million inheritance. Then gave away herself, too. At 33, she turned down a couple of suitors to become a nun. Katharine Drexel spent the rest of her 96 years traveling to Indian reservations and poor neighborhoods, building schools and missions. This weekend at the Vatican, Sister Katharine Drexel became the first American-born Catholic to be named a saint. You would think all those good deeds she did in life led to this historic moment. But Saint Katharine was canonized for what happened to Amy Wall and Robert Gutherman long after her death.
You have to be dead. Up until the last moment, the worst sinner can become a saint.